So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually find high quality B2B leads and scale without doing any manual research, because I know that B2Bs out there still doing manual research, spending hours and hours every single day just to find good leads. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to actually find good quality leads and scale without doing any manual research in place. If you don't know me, my name is Noah Gale. I'm the founder of Fleems.com. I'm a certified smart lead and Clay.com expert. And let's just jump straight into it. So, for most B2B clients that we have, we usually want to find decision makers who are on LinkedIn. And what we usually recommend for clients is that we get leads from Apollo directly. And I know that there are a bit mixed opinions about Apollo, but Apollo is really good if you want to find leads who are active on LinkedIn, which most B2B offers are essentially. Because I know that, like, for example, if you have a service that you're selling to e-commerce stores, then Apollo might not be the best option. But for most companies out there, Apollo would be your best option just because it directly finds decision makers that are active on LinkedIn. And yeah, so it's pretty good. You have all these filters like job titles, company lookalikes. Even this is a pretty good one actually. A location, employees, industry, and keywords, and also even some buying intent, which isn't really the best, I'd say. But that's pretty much the basic ones. You also have revenue and also some job postings. And how we usually do the list building for our clients is we do list building all using these filters right here. So for example, we would do CEO, Chief Executive Officer. I also like to do the longer to make sure that we find every single one. And then we might also want to find some head of marketing. And just to not get stuck inside of all this filter, I just leave it like this. And company look like this is a really good one. So for example, if you want to find a lot of companies similar to your case studies, we could use, let's just use this one as a lookalike. Oh, what a weird site. But just so you get the point, you can use company lookalikes right here. And this way we would find companies who are similar to this company right here. And what's very beneficial with these with this feature specifically is that you can reach out to companies similar to your best case study and say to them like, hey John, we recently helped this super similar company to you get X results. I think we can do the same for you. And this works incredibly well as well. So then you can filter for location, and location is essentially where the prospect is located at, and account HQ is where the company is located at. So for example, you could use this feature to find prospects who are in United States, but their company might be located in Europe, for example. Employees, it's pretty straight to the point. So usually we want to contact 11 plus, I'd say, because, or I mean, it all depends on who you'd like to sell to, but the companies who have 1 to 10 employees, they aren't really most of the time, they don't really have the budget in place, I'd say. And once you have a good list built based on these filters, you could get the list, and from there on, just push it inside of Clay. This is usually what we do for all our clients. And here is usually where the magic begins. So once you've built your list inside of Apollo, we usually push them to Clay just to further enrich the leads, score the leads, qualify the leads, etc., etc. So let's take this client, for example, where we... Actually, let's go with this one. So for this client, it's a very unique offer where we had an AI software engineer. And what we did for this client is that we built a prospect list from Apollo, scraped it from Apollo, and then directly imported inside of Clay, where we enriched each company to see, okay, how many like engineers do they have on their team, and also enriched each company to find their short and SEO description as well. This is all taken from LinkedIn. And then we also normalize each company names. So you don't really want to just directly get a list from Apollo and then just push it to your email sequencer platform. You always want to make sure that you actually get the most out of your leads by scoring leads, qualifying the leads, finding these missed email addresses that you wouldn't have gotten directly from just getting is from Apollo. So for example, we always, let's see if we have a, might be here actually, where we just do, let's see if it wasn't here. It's, might be here. Yes, exactly. So for each missed email address, we have set up a formula that just runs it's a waterfall enrichment basically. So for each missed email address, we just enrich them and find their email address. So for example, on our list we got from Apollo, uh, the email was empty. It was missed. So if I just do like this, as you can see right here, the email was missed. So in these cases, we just run this waterfall enrichment to find these email addresses to just maximize our time essentially. And then we further enrich this lead list. So the whole point of doing cold outbound at scale is that you want to make each email personalized and relevant. So for this list, we enriched every single company by finding their G2 page. They're using that as data points inside of our cold emails. And also, by the way, I have a really good document in place for you guys, which is also linked in the description. It covers 50 plus triggers and social signals that you can use to actually write in your emails to make sure that you get these good relevant openers and just write your relevant emails. And it's also a full check mark of a list to make sure that you're actually reaching out to the right list. So make sure you grab it in the description below. But anyways, then we also make sure that we use our AI to write our entire messaging that we then use to qualify our leads as mentioned. So like here we can see that, okay, here's the dislike taken directly from G2 as we scraped their G2 page. Let's see where it was, over here. And then we can see, okay, is this a common dislike they're actually getting? Using AI, we actually made it determine, output false or true false basically, to tell us, okay, is this a common dislike that this company is actually getting? Because based on the top dislikes that we did for this client and for the offers that we framed or offered to the companies that we actually wrote to, we can frame our entire offer to see like, okay, we see that you're getting many dislikes with this thing right here, we can help you fix this problem essentially. So instead of blasting to some random Apollo list, we always want to make sure that we first grab the list from Apollo, qualify, enrich it, and find more email addresses that are actually missed in the first place, and then use AI to find these data points. Because I always want to say that it's sort of like a puzzle, right? You want to use these missed columns, so for example the emails, to find each email address that will be missed. Also use AI to find each data point, so you then craft to like a full puzzle, so you can write this good, relevant, personalized cold email, then just do it at scale. And so doing it like this, we were able to research each lead and scale. So for example, this list is 33,000 leads almost. And we visited each G2's page. We got their product description right here. We found the competitors even. We also normalized each competitor's company name to make it look human written. And also we used it to frame our offer depending on the most common dislikes that the SaaS company was getting. And then we use that as data points to prompt our AI right here to just tailor our offer depending on what the top dislikes this SaaS is getting basically. So then we could write a really, really relevant and personalized email. So we could say like, hey, I saw some audio users on G2 mentioning they'd love clearer reporting features. Seems to be a common challenge in your space. And then we'll also use AI to frame our offer to their solution. So we could say, let's see here. So we built engine, an AI engineer that works 24/7 for 80% less than hiring a junior engineer that could help you create clearer reporting features in minutes, so you could make better decisions faster. So this is all framed depending on the top dislikes that we were getting. So as input to the AI, we gave it as like, hey, here is the input of the, oh, this was actually our opening line, see now. But if we go to this one right here, we give it as input like, hey, here are the most common problems and dislikes this SaaS is getting. And then we have it right here listed, which is super nice. So the old way of doing this is essentially just getting a random lead list from Apollo. Apollo's great as a starting point, but you don't want to stop there. So you also want to make sure that you actually import the list to Clay to find these missed email addresses. Personalize your messaging and scale using AI to use as data points, and then based on that, then frame your offer and push it to these specific campaigns. So we have right here essentially. Another example is we're still working with the SaaS, or I mean SEO client actually. But so what we did for this SEO client right here is we found companies who are actively struggling with their web traffic. So we could see like, okay, we see, John, that you're only getting like 60. Let's see if this can load up. Uh, 60 in page speed. Let's see if we could just do this. So there we go. So we enriched by finding, yeah, the missed email address is right here. But then once verified, we could actually see like, okay, John, you are, where's the page speed? Here we go. We can see like, okay, here we can see that you have a 10 in performance score. You have less than 80 in score. Okay, then let's add you to this campaign and we will reach out to you to offer our solution. And this is sort of like a warmer approach to cold outbound, because you're actively finding problems that each prospect might have, and then you're reaching out with a solution, which makes your email so relevant. And for this client, we've got them 91 meetings in 3 months, which is pretty good as well. And so we can also just use these as data points to see like, okay, you have 10.9 seconds on your site, and we can just use this as data points to reference in our emails. And instead of just going to each website one by one, doing this manually, we just automate this and scale to find these as data points that we can reference in our emails. But make sure you go to the description down below, because there's a really big presentation inside of there that's waiting for you. It covers 50 social triggers and good relevant opening lines that you can use in your emails to get more meetings booked directly to your calendar. It's also a live qualification table essentially that you can use to make sure that you're actually reaching out to the right prospect at the right time. So do make sure you grab it in the description, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.